Call of Duty has lost the plot. It has lost its identity. Call of Duty is now a microtransaction mess with constant bundles coming out almost every single day, new collaborations almost every single season. Call of Duty has lost the plot. And now it seems like we're going to start getting paid DLC back in Call of Duty. And now, right before I get into this video, I'd like to thank everybody for the support on everything recently. The shorts, the videos. You guys are insane. Did my 500 subscriber special like 20 subscribers too late because I blew past 500 subscribers in a day. I think now in May, I would love to try to make other videos on different types of games and just really start branching out, because in this video, you're going to find out that I'm not really a big fan of where Call of Duty is heading right now. So I'm going to start branching out and making videos about other games. And especially when GTA 6 comes out, I'm going to go all in on GTA. But also, about that GTA, I hate that the video I made barely a week and a half ago is now entirely irrelevant. It was a good video for a week and a half ago, but since then, GTA 6 got a delay, and then it got a trailer. Like, are you kidding me, Rockstar? You. Alright, you made my video irrelevant. So anyways, enough rambling about me and my content. Let's get into the main part of this video. So I don't know if you've been paying attention to Call of Duty at all recently, but Call of Duty has this brand new 420 event going on. It's got 3 collaborations with 2 dudes I couldn't tell you the names of, and I'm not going to tell you the names of them because I don't care. And then we have Seth Rogen with an event pass. But now we have Seth Rogen teaming up with Raphael and the Terminator and the guy from Squid Game, and it's just, Call of Duty's lost the point. Call of Duty's losing what made Call of Duty special. What made Call of Duty special is every single year they would change the theme, they would change the time period, when their games were taking place, where they were taking place. Like for examples, Modern Warfare series. They always take place in the modern day in like modern war settings. Black Ops was famous for their 80s and 60s Vietnam War. Black Ops was popular for their, their mind-bending campaigns, how they would take place in the 60s, the 80s, and now the 90s, kind of taking a step into the past. And then we also had our infamous World War II games. Countless World War II games we've had from Call of Duty, taking us back to what it was like to fight on those beaches in Normandy. Obviously, nothing realistic, because Call of Duty at the end of the day is an arcade shooter. It's not supposed to be a realistic mil-sim shooter. It was the time periods and the constant changing of those time periods is what made Call of Duty so special. Because if you didn't like the time period that Call of Duty was currently in, whether you didn't like that we were 100 years in the future or we were 100 years in the past, if you weren't a fan of that, just wait till next year till they'll make a Call of Duty that might fit your itch of what you want to play. And I kind of went over this in my most recent video, Warzone Killed Call of Duty. I was saying basically Warzone killed the creativity behind some of their other modes. Warzone caused Call of Duty to now have more of a synergy where everything kind of feels the same and plays the same, because if they change it up, guy goes plays zombies, it feels different than Warzone, they're not going to really try to play that game or that mode. Same thing with multiplayer. Multiplayer is dead in the water basically because it has to fit what Warzone needs it to do. Multiplayer has been boiled down to a small map mosh pit where you grind guns to level them up and grind the camos for Warzone so you can have flashy guns for your Warzone. That is it. That's all Warzone made multiplayer, and multiplayer is now stuck in a box. Same thing with zombies. Same thing with campaign. They're all stuck in this little boxes where they really can't change. The issue I have with what Call of Duty is doing right now is they are going all in on microtransactions. On paper, collaborations are not a bad idea, and it helps promote Call of Duty, getting more players, more eyes on the game. Ultimately, not a bad idea. When the collaborations don't fit theme or the time period of Call of Duty starts to lose the identity of what it had and what it made it so special. Call of Duty was so special because it would stick to those time frames and those time periods. My favorite example of this, I hate that I always bring up Modern Warfare 2019, but they really do an excellent job there with sticking to the time period and sticking to the theme of like these mil-sim, these military outfits. We got a little crazy sometimes. All the skins in 2019 fit the theme of the game. That's what made Modern Warfare 19 feel that good to a lot of people, is because you weren't seeing Raphael walking around with an M4. You weren't seeing the guy from Squid Game running around with an RPG. You were seeing things that could make sense in that game. Black Ops 6 has gone balls to the wall with the collaborations. It is throwing every collab it can to try to gain any amount of traction it can. They keep doing things that the community does not love. These collaborations the community really does not like. This 420 is a prime example, and this 420 event is what did me in and made me kind of quit Call of Duty. This is not what I want. I don't want Seth Rogen in my game. All right, I don't want these 2 random fuck ads in my game. okay? These event passes, these modes, the modes are cool. I'll give them that. But these collaborations, we don't ask for. We didn't ask for. This is not Call of Duty. I know I sound like those guys who are like, I want Call of Duty to be a realistic shooter. My main idea of this is if Call of Duty loses its identity, then what is Call of Duty? Fortnite is doing the collaborations a whole lot better than Call of Duty ever could. What Fortnite does versus what Call of Duty does is Fortnite can extend the bounds of whatever to make the collaboration work and feel good in the game. They don't lock that collaboration into a box, and the box isn't like restrictive. Call of Duty throws those collaborations into like a box, and those collaborations can't do really anything outside of the box. They're stuck to what Call of Duty restrains them to do. So it just ends up being skins, event passes, and maybe a little wacky mode. Fortnite adds weapons to Battle Royale that changes how the game plays. Lightsabers, these new blasters. Like Fortnite's Star Wars season they're doing right now is like the perfect way to do a collaboration if you're going to do a big collaboration that's going to take over your game. Make an entire month-long season based on it. Make all your weapons based on that collaboration. Add POIs to the game that make the collaboration. Do stuff outside of the box that nobody was expecting. I was not expecting a month-long collaboration with Star Wars. Alright, and I don't personally care for Star Wars, but this season is sick. Alright, it's cool. And I'm excited to see what they do for this next month. The issue with Call of Duty, it just ends up becoming just 1 to 2 modes, and Warzone does not change. Because if Warzone changed, then people would have issues with the collaboration. Call of Duty is stuck in this limbo, in this box, where they can't do anything and they can't change. I know I feel like I'm taking like 3 of my videos right now and blending it all into this video, because nobody's hearing me right now. Nobody's hearing the points that I make. Nobody's really understanding what I'm trying to say. Call of Duty is stuck in a box. It is stuck in a limbo. It is stuck doing this synergy with Warzone. Warzone needs to be its own thing, because Warzone is plaguing Call of Duty, and it is killing Call of Duty, and it is causing Call of Duty to lose the plot. It is losing the thing that made Call of Duty special, and that's why I can't get behind this new Call of Duty. Why I can't get behind most of these new games coming up, because the gaming world has gone too corporate. And I would love to make a bigger, more drawn out video. Basically, I'm going to really boil it down. Since there's more money to be made in the gaming world because gaming is getting bigger, businesses are trying to cut costs so they can, make their profit margins a lot bigger. That's why we're seeing a lot of AI, art, games in gaming. Fuck AI stuff. It is so annoying seeing AI art or AI just anything in games. It ruins. I don't want to play AI corporate slop. These AAA games are not making AAA games anymore. Alright, indie dev companies are making better games than current AAA games. Warzone saved Call of Duty when it needed to. Call of Duty milked the Warzone cow as much as they could. But they keep trying to milk it, and they keep trying to make everything fit with Warzone, where it's now causing Warzone to hinder the game more than help the game. Because Call of Duty wants Warzone to be like Fortnite so badly, but it can't do what Fortnite does at all. They can poorly execute everything. These collaborations will be the death of Call of Duty. These over microtransactions will be the death of Call of Duty. And let me get to my main point of this video. Call of Duty is rumored to bring back paid DLCs. Hey Call of Duty, you want to know what the one thing you shouldn't do right now? Bring back paid DLC. Because that will ruin your game. Because now, what AAA games are now going to be priced at is now $80. Xbox just announced recently that all of their AAA games are now going to be priced at $80 a pop. Call of Duty is not worth $80 right now. And now they're going to be pumping in borderline paid DLC. And what I'm talking about here is... So there was a rumor going around in the Call of Duty world is that Activision might be considering changing the Battle Pass for COD 2025. If you don't know what COD 2025 is, it's a leak to basically be Black Ops 7. And in this was certain seasonal limited time modes may require Battle Pass ownership. So now modes will be locked behind a Battle Pass. You have to spend $10, and now that they're locking modes behind a Battle Pass, they'll probably make the price more. So probably $15, if not $20, to get access to these modes. The issue I have with this is you're already paying $80 a year for Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a borderline subscription service at this point. You pay your $80 annual fee, and then you pay your $10 monthly subscription for your battle passes, your event passes, and then your bundles are just added on top of that. I stole that entire point from Ink Slasher. What he said was perfect. That Call of Duty basically feels like a subscription service. But now the positive coming out of this is there'll be no more event passes. Everything will be based on the battle pass, in the battle pass system. The idea of paying for modes or adding a paywall to access certain modes is beyond ridiculous. and I can't stand for that, and I won't stand for that. So if Call of Duty actually goes through with that, I will be quitting Call of Duty permanently. I do not stand for this. I love making Call of Duty videos. I love talking about things that Call of Duty does right and things they do wrong. But if Call of Duty is going down this microtransaction hellhole of a game, I don't want any part of it. And it seems like my audience is really reflecting that as well. My biggest video ever was Call of Duty is Soulless. It was a negative video about Call of Duty. You guys loved that video. But what I've seen more recently is you guys are starting to love when I branch out and do other games, such as Fortnite or GTA. So I'm probably going to start branching out and doing other types of games because right now I can't stand with what Call of Duty's doing. Call of Duty has lost the plot, it's lost its identity, and I'm just kind of sick of it. I'm sick of Call of Duty going down this path, do this song and dance every single year where we have our issues with Call of Duty, and then the next Call of Duty comes out, we think we're saved. In reality, when I see information about this game and what's getting leaked right now about Black Ops 7, it sounds like Black Ops 7 is going to be even worse than Black Ops 6. And this is a AAA studio at the end of the day. They have the power to make great games, and they have made great games in the past. This will probably be my last Call of Duty video for a while. I'll have a few other videos that obviously mention Call of Duty, but I will not do a Call of Duty main-centered video for a while. Call of Duty is in such a bad spot right now. I don't want to keep making negative videos, even though I love talking about issues in gaming and how to fix them or how to, but when all of my videos are now coming to a point where they are just negative, it affects my mental state, even though negative videos get a lot of fucking views. I'm going to do what's right for me and for my channel, so I'm going to be branching out and making other videos, so anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your morning, evening, afternoon, whatever you have. I hope you remember that you matter, and I will catch you in the next one.